Hi guys, good evening and welcome back once again to the EdWord. I'm your host Eddie, and in tonight's video I sadly bring you rather disappointing and in my opinion very upsetting news about something that I have been looking forward to for 7 years, and we only got an update 3 years ago to receive an update recently from earlier this week. Some of you maybe know about what I'm referring to, and maybe you have no idea whatsoever, but I felt like it was my responsibility, my obligation to you guys, to my YouTube audience, to keep you informed and up to date on projects that I talk about here on this channel, films and TV shows that are in development that I'm looking forward to, but sadly, sometimes they may never see the light of day. This latest development I'm talking about is the update we got regarding the Arachnophobia Remake, which the last update we had was from about 3 years ago in early 2022. Horror filmmaker Christopher Landon, who did the movies like Freaky and Happy Death Day films and a few other notable ones, was attached to write and direct this film, and sadly, we have not received any updates until just now. A few days ago, I was online and this story caught my eye, and I thought I would share his exact words with all of you so that nothing was misinterpreted. While he was promoting his latest film, Drop, which I haven't seen, and frankly, I have no interest in seeing, he was being interviewed about Drop, and somebody asked him what was his take on arachnophobia, and this is what he had to say. I wrote a script that I loved. I actually think it was one of my best, but the problem with that is that you still have to deal with other people who have different opinions about what kind of movie we should be making. This was a classic case of creative differences, and it was something that I was not willing to change. Everybody moved on, and that was just the way it went, but at least it was a calm separation. And then he continues to say that his take on the film was a remake in the sense of it being a spider invasion, a small West Texas town, and it was more body horror. The spiders would use their fangs to slice into your flesh and lay eggs inside your body. It was brutal. That sounds so fucking cool. There was also a mayoral race going on in that small town. One of the candidates had enormous influence over this particular town because he was an old oil money family kind of guy. And he thought of a Tim Allen type for the role, a character who's outwardly charming, but on the inside a ruthless, awful human being. He'd be up against a female candidate. There's a spider invasion, and all hell breaks loose. So apparently that was going to be Landon's version of the Arachnophobia remake. Or was it a remake? Because there was something in here that makes me think this could have been an unofficial, indirect sequel. It's right here at the bottom. When he was asked if he had written a piece for John Goodman to return, Goodman, who played the delightful, awesome, badass character that was Delbert McClintock, the exterminator who bravely takes on the spiders throughout the original film Arachnophobia, Landon revealed he had written a great return for the character. So not only are we not getting this movie, we are not getting a return of Delbert McClintock, one of my all-time favorite movie characters, played by the awesome and impressive John Goodman. So apparently the film is still in development with Amblin Entertainment and James Wan's Atomic Monster, because it was in 2018 that James Wan was developing a remake of Arachnophobia through his company Atomic Monster. And they're working with Steven Spielberg's company, Amblin Entertainment, who obviously did the original Arachnophobia, so it makes sense to partner with them on this remake. Guys, I can't tell you how unbelievably angry, sad, and frustrated reading this story made me, because not only did this film sound awesome, but we also could have gotten the return of Delbert, a beloved horror movie character who was funny and a badass and took on the spiders bravely, single-handedly in the original Arachnophobia. And the fact that we're never, ever going to get this particular film with the return of Delbert is truly heartbreaking, saddening, and infuriating to me. Now, they say the film is still in development, but a film can be stuck in development hell for years on end. I don't know if if this movie will ever see the light of day, which is too bad, because in my opinion, Hollywood ought to be obligated and required to make a film that they announce in the first place, and then they should follow through on it regardless of how it turns out, because they owe it to us. At least that's just my humble opinion. Now, sadly, no such rule or law exists to enforce that. But it's just a shame that we will never see this particular version of the Arachnophobia remake. Could we get a remake of Arachnophobia? Sure. Will we ever get one? I have no idea. I certainly, sincerely hope with every fiber of my being that we do. But I would have loved to see Christopher Landon's version, because this sounded like a fun, scary movie with the return of Delbert. And I am so unbelievably disappointed, sad, hurt, and above all, angry that we are not getting this particular film. Oh, it makes me so mad. And I'm sure he's telling the truth. It probably was creative differences. Somebody wanted to make a different movie than he wanted to make, and now we're not getting this particular film. So sadly, my friends, that is the latest update regarding the Arachnophobia remake, and I bring this news to you rather reluctantly because I was hoping to share something more exciting, uplifting, and positive with you, but sadly, that's not the case here. As you can tell, this still really bothers me and gets under my skin, much like a spider would. But it's just so aggravating to me that this isn't happening. It's just sounds like it's like typical Hollywood BS that this movie isn't happening. I sincerely hope they find a filmmaker whom they can align their vision with and give us a solid horror film, if not a horror comedy, that is a worthwhile sequel, if not a worthwhile remake of the original excellent film. But who knows if we'll ever get that. So that's the latest on the Arachnophobia remake, everybody. I'm sorry it's not more positive news. I really, really wish it was. But when I saw this story be online earlier this week, I was like, are you kidding me? Oh, God, I was angry and I was heartbroken. And I still am, if you can't tell. I hope you guys take this news better than I do, because I was really looking forward to this film, and I feel like a lot of people were, based on the reactions I've seen on this channel. And sadly, we may not get this version of the film, but we gotta hope that someday we will get a version, a remake of this movie. It'll hopefully just be a matter of time. Well, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. If not enjoyed it, you at least found it informative and you learned the fate of this film, or at least this version of this film, as hopefully we could still get a remake someday, but I'm not holding my breath. All right, guys, have a great rest of your night and a wonderful weekend if I don't see you again. Thank you so much for joining me for not exactly an uplifting video, but an important one nonetheless, because this was an update, a big update on something we've been waiting for a very long time. Have a good night, everybody, and of course, until next time, what's your favorite scary movie?